Imagine waking up on the first Monday of your retirement. No alarm clock, no commute, no meetings, just freedom. Or at least, that's what you imagined. But then reality arrives. The heating bill lands. The insurance renewals arrive. The council tax increases. The second car needs servicing. The holiday home needs repairs. The boat hasn't moved in months, but it's still costing money. Suddenly, retirement doesn't feel like freedom anymore. It feels expensive. Here's the surprising truth. The happiest retirees I've ever met didn't necessarily have the biggest pensions. They weren't always the wealthiest, and they certainly weren't the people who owned the most. Instead, they had something far more valuable. They knew what to let go of, because retirement isn't about accumulating more. It's about carrying less. Today, we're going to look at 5 things that many people should seriously consider selling or letting go of before retirement. Some of these might surprise you. One of them could save you tens of thousands of pounds. Another isn't even something you can sell at all, yet it holds more retirees back than almost anything else. Before we continue, hit like and subscribe my channel for more retirement, pension, HMRC, and personal finance updates that could help you protect your wealth and enjoy a better retirement. Now, let's begin. Number 5, the house that no longer fits your life. For many people, the family home is much more than bricks and mortar. It's where birthdays were celebrated. Christmas mornings happened. Children took their first steps. Teenagers slammed bedroom doors. Grandchildren now come to visit. It's full of memories. And that's exactly why this decision is so difficult. But here's the question very few retirees ask themselves. Are you still living in your home, or are you simply maintaining it? Many retirees live in 4-bedroom houses where only 2 rooms are ever used. They heat empty bedrooms, clean empty bathrooms, maintain gardens they rarely enjoy, pay council tax on space that no longer serves any real purpose, and every year those costs quietly grow. Heating, insurance, maintenance, roof repairs, windows, boilers, gardening, cleaning. The house that once worked for your family slowly becomes a full-time job. Now here's the good news that surprises many homeowners. If the property is genuinely your main residence, selling it usually doesn't trigger capital gains tax. That means if your home has increased dramatically in value over the last 30 or 40 years, you generally keep that gain. For many families, that's one of the most tax-efficient sales they'll ever make. But here's where people make the mistake. They don't downsize because they think they're giving something up. In reality, they're often buying something much more valuable: freedom. Imagine replacing endless maintenance with weekends away, replacing gardening chores with afternoons spent with grandchildren, replacing expensive heating bills with lower monthly costs. Imagine living somewhere that's easier to clean, cheaper to run, and designed for the next chapter of your life rather than the last one. This isn't about abandoning memories. Those memories don't live inside the walls, they live inside you. One retired couple realized this after years of delaying the decision. Their large family home had become difficult to maintain. The stairs were becoming harder each year, heating costs kept rising, the garden demanded constant work. Eventually they moved into a modern bungalow just a few streets away. Same village, same friends, same local shops. But suddenly, their monthly expenses dropped dramatically. Their maintenance worries disappeared, and they unlocked a substantial amount of equity that strengthened their retirement savings. Months later, they admitted something unexpected. They didn't miss the house. They missed the idea of the house. Once they settled into their new home, they wished they'd done it years earlier. Sometimes downsizing isn't moving backwards. It's moving forward with fewer burdens. Number 4, stop financing your children's future with your retirement now. This one can be uncomfortable, because every parent wants to help. You've spent decades putting your children first. You sacrificed holidays, worked overtime, saved for school uniforms, paid university costs, helped with weddings, maybe even helped with a house deposit. That's what good parents do. But retirement changes one very important thing. Your income becomes limited. Your working years are behind you. Every pound you spend now has to last much longer. Yet many parents continue giving financial support exactly as they always have. Helping with rent, helping with mortgages, helping with unexpected bills, helping with childcare, helping with holidays, helping with home improvements, helping, until one day they quietly realize something. They've spent so much protecting everyone else's future, they've forgotten to protect their own. This isn't about refusing to help your children. Far from it. If you're fortunate enough to help without damaging your own retirement, that's wonderful. But ask yourself one question. If helping your adult children means delaying your retirement, who exactly is paying the bigger price? A 35-year-old still has decades ahead, time to earn, time to recover financially, time to rebuild savings, time to change careers, time to buy another house. But retirement works differently. You don't get those decades back. You don't get another 30 years of earning power. You can't borrow extra healthy years. That's why retirement experts often say something that sounds surprisingly harsh. Protect your own financial oxygen mask first, because becoming financially dependent on your children later in life helps nobody. Consider a couple approaching retirement. Their finances are solid, their mortgage is paid, their pension looks healthy, then their son wants to buy his first home. The parents decide to work another 3 years to provide a larger deposit. It's a generous decision, but what did it really cost? 3 extra years of commuting, 3 extra years of stress, 3 fewer years of healthy retirement, 3 years they never get back. Their son still had opportunities. He could save more, buy later, choose a different property, take a slightly smaller mortgage. Those options still existed, but those 3 years of active retirement, once gone, they're gone forever. Retirement isn't measured only in money. It's measured in healthy mornings, long walks, travel opportunities, time with grandchildren, lazy Sunday afternoons, experiences, freedom. Those years become more valuable than almost any financial gift. And there's another side to this conversation. Many parents feel guilty spending money on themselves. They hesitate before booking holidays, delay replacing worn furniture, avoid enjoying retirement because they want to preserve money for inheritance. But what if your children would rather see you enjoying your retirement than inheriting slightly more money 20 years from now? Many adult children say exactly that. They don't want their parents sacrificing happiness for a larger inheritance. They'd rather see mom and dad traveling, making memories, living comfortably, smiling, because that's what retirement was supposed to be. Not another chapter of sacrifice. If you genuinely have surplus money, helping family can be deeply rewarding. But don't confuse generosity with obligation. You've already spent decades giving. Retirement is finally your opportunity to receive something back. Not from your children, but from the life you've spent building. And perhaps that's the hardest lesson of all. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for your children is make sure they never have to worry about supporting you financially later. That starts with protecting your own retirement first. Number 3, the hobby that quietly became a financial burden. Retirement should be about enjoying the hobbies you've always loved. Fishing, golf, photography, sailing, classic cars, caravanning, woodworking. For many people, these passions are what kept them motivated through decades of hard work. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Are you still enjoying the hobby, or are you simply paying to own it? There's a big difference. Meet Brian. For over 20 years, he restored classic British cars. Every spare evening was spent in his garage. Every completed restoration represented patience, craftsmanship, and pride. By the time he reached retirement, he'd collected 4 beautiful classic cars. They were immaculate, admired at every local show, the envy of fellow enthusiasts. But something quietly changed. Brian wasn't driving them anymore. One car hadn't left the garage for nearly 18 months. Another only appeared at one summer event each year. Yet every single month the bills kept arriving. Insurance, road tax, storage, maintenance, specialist servicing, replacement parts, battery chargers, tires, unexpected repairs. When Brian finally added everything together, he was shocked. His hobby was costing him nearly £7,000 every year. Not because he was using it, but because he owned it. That was the moment everything changed. Instead of asking, which car should I keep? He asked a different question. Which one do I genuinely love? The answer came instantly. The first car he'd ever restored, the one filled with memories, the one he still enjoyed driving on sunny Sunday mornings. So he sold the other 3. Not because he'd stopped loving classic cars, but because he'd stopped needing 4 of them. The money from those sales strengthened his retirement savings. His annual expenses dropped dramatically. His garage became manageable again. Most importantly, his hobby became enjoyable once more. The lesson isn't to give up what you love, it's to stop paying for things you no longer use. Retirement should simplify your life, not turn your passions into expensive obligations. Number 2, the second car that's quietly draining your retirement. Now we come to the one that surprises almost every couple, the second car. Think back to your working life, 2 jobs, different commuting routes, school runs, shopping, weekend activities. Having 2 cars made perfect sense. But retirement changes everything. Suddenly, neither of you commutes. The morning rush disappears. Appointments become flexible. You have time to plan. Yet millions of retired couples continue paying for two vehicles, not because they need them, simply because they've always had them. Let's do some simple maths. Insurance, road tax, MOT, annual servicing, tires, breakdowns, fuel, depreciation. Even if that second vehicle barely leaves the driveway, it continues costing thousands every year. Now imagine investing that money differently. A weekend away every month, a cruise every couple of years, helping grandchildren through university, more comfortable retirement, less financial stress. One retired couple weren't convinced they could manage with one car, so instead of selling immediately, they ran an experiment. For 90 days, they parked one car, locked it, never touched it. Whenever they needed transport, they shared. Sometimes one drove, sometimes the other waited. Occasionally they used a taxi, a few times they took the bus. At the end of 3 months, they looked at each other and laughed. The second car hadn't been necessary at all. It had become a very expensive ornament. They sold it. Suddenly thousands of pounds every year stayed in their bank account instead of disappearing into depreciation. Here's an interesting exercise. Walk outside tomorrow morning. Stand in front of your second car. Ask yourself honestly, if I didn't already own this, would I buy it today? If the answer is no, you already know what to do. Number one, the hardest thing to let go of, your work identity. This isn't something you can sell. You can't donate it. You can't list it online. Yet it weighs more heavily than almost anything else people carry into retirement. Your identity. For 40 years, people knew who you were. Teacher, engineer, doctor, builder, police officer, manager, business owner, director. Every introduction started with your profession. Every conversation included your work. Your calendar revolved around deadlines, meetings, responsibilities. People needed you. Then one Friday afternoon, it all stopped. Monday arrived. The emails disappeared. The phone stopped ringing. Nobody asked for your opinion. Nobody needed your signature. Nobody expected you in the office. Many retirees describe this as surprisingly emotional, not because they miss working, but because they miss feeling important. One former head teacher explained it beautifully. He said, "For 30 years I was the headmaster. Now I'm just Jeffrey." Those few words reveal something profound. He hadn't retired from a job. He believed he'd retired from being someone. For months he tried recreating that identity, joining committees, attending meetings, offering advice everywhere, staying busy without ever asking himself one important question: who am I when I'm no longer my job? Eventually, he stopped trying to replace his old life. Instead, he rediscovered parts of himself that had been waiting patiently for decades: woodworking, gardening, reading, traveling, volunteering, mentoring young teachers, playing with grandchildren. He realized something extraordinary. His career had been something he did. It had never been who he truly was. Retirement isn't the end of your usefulness. It's the beginning of your freedom. You are still valuable, still experienced, still needed, just differently. Some people become incredible grandparents. Others become volunteers. Some mentor young entrepreneurs. Others finally write the book they've always imagined. Some simply enjoy slow mornings with a cup of tea while watching birds in the garden. Success in retirement isn't measured by how busy you remain. It's measured by how meaningful your days become. And that only happens when you stop trying to recreate yesterday. 3 questions that can change every retirement decision. Whenever you're unsure whether to keep something, ask yourself these 3 questions. Question 1. Does this belong in the life I'm creating, or only the life I'm leaving behind? That one question changes everything. Question 2. What is this really costing me? Not just financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. Every possession demands attention: maintenance, insurance, storage, cleaning, repairs. Your retirement should buy you time, not more responsibilities. Question 3. If I let this go, what becomes possible? Could you travel more, sleep better, reduce financial stress, spend more time with family, feel lighter? Sometimes what you're gaining is worth far more than what you're giving up. Before you sell anything, here's one final piece of advice. Don't rush. Test the decision first. Thinking about selling the caravan? Don't use it for one full season. See if you genuinely miss it. Thinking about downsizing? Spend several weekends living only downstairs. Thinking about giving up the second car? Park it for 3 months. thinking about selling the holiday property. Imagine the sale has already happened. Imagine the money is safely invested. Ask yourself, do you feel regret or relief? That answer often tells you everything you need to know. Conclusion: retirement isn't about having less. It's about having more of what truly matters. More freedom, more experiences, more peace, more time. The happiest retirees aren't always the wealthiest. They're the ones who understand the difference between owning things and being owned by them. Because every unnecessary expense, every unused possession, every outdated commitment quietly steals a little of the freedom you've spent your entire working life trying to earn. You've worked for decades. You've paid your taxes. You've raised your family. You've met your responsibilities. Now it's your turn. Give yourself permission to simplify. Give yourself permission to enjoy. And most importantly, give yourself permission to let go of anything that no longer serves the life you're about to live. Because retirement isn't the closing chapter. It's the first page of a brand new story. Make sure there's enough room to write it well.